Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, of course, help you understand best practice, big picture, and try to identify what's going to happen next, right? Thankfully, yesterday, based on the analysis, we could tell that the price was just trying to fill the gap. It bounced back pretty strong, so I think we're in good shape here, not in dire straits at all. But that little reset button does scare people sometimes, so just know it's all well and good. That happens sometimes. That being said, I'm not a financial advisor, right? So I just love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. Please, of course, let me know if you did and comment below. If not, that's cool too. I also have a link in the description below for my website, CryptoCache.tech, if you want to become a community member and just become a better trader. I have a trading academy, trading community, everything that kind of helps you get on track for being a good trader. And I also share signals for every single trade that I take too, so it's a really awesome experience. Check that out in your own time. So taking a look here at Bitcoin. Oh, also, apologies. Little disclaimer, my voice is terrible today. I'm going to try to work through it, but I just know I'm working through a cold, and I really do appreciate all of the kudos and the very nice consolations I've received in the last 24 hours. Thank you so much to everybody. Appreciate that. So here's what's going on with Bitcoin. So to clarify, just to kind of speak to the obvious, we're under the 200-day simple moving average and above the 50. The 200-day SMA is trending right at 48,000, roughly about 48,200, and that's apparently a very strong resistance level, right? The price has tried twice so far to break that plane and it hasn't yet. So soon, hopefully, we'll be able to get a third test. Today, we could see the price come up to about 47,200 and got rejected. And ultimately, it looks like the support level of 46,000, which was pretty much non-existent yesterday, could and should likely hold today, based on the simple fact that is, once again, a very strong resistance level previously and should work as a support now. Okay, so that's really what we're looking at there. All in all, good stuff in general. Definitely nothing negative. Once again, the correction the last 3 days makes perfect sense. All right, it was just filling that gap from the CME, where the futures were. There was a gap from when the market closed to when the market opened. You see those gaps happen, they'll likely get filled later down the road. It can happen immediately, it can happen way later. So I'm glad it took care of itself right away, so we don't have to worry about it later. Now we have open range to kind of fly free, so to speak, from here. I think the likelihood of Bitcoin continuing higher once again is very high. Is there going to be a correction to the downside? Perhaps. This candlestick isn't really that great. It's an ominous candlestick, kind of telling us that we could see a potential reversal. But I just think it's going to consolidate closer to that support level. We can get more volume at 46,000. We'll be just fine. I'm not super concerned with it. But once again, this little area here is essentially a support channel. So we're in pretty good shape. We should experience some kind of support in that regard, which we've already seen so far, where the price came down and kind of canceled itself out, bounced right back. All right, taking a look at the RSI, we're under 70, over 50, standard stuff there as well. I like that we are under 70 and not pushing that limit, which we were previously. So that's perfectly fine. I like where we're at here so far. It gives us some room to grow, so if we were to come up to test 48,000 once again, we could likely break it this next time around, because most things in crypto do happen in threes, and you will see the third or fourth attempt, in most cases, to break a resistance or support level will oftentimes succeed. So we could see that third attempt happen here soon. Looking at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and see we're above 50 on the RSI. I like that that's holding. That's kind of synonymous once again with the support level of 46,000, as well as the 50-day SMA kind of holding the price in place. So the 50-day SMA is kind of doing us a favor right now, kind of trending closer to the current support level. So we got nice little support of 46,000 as well as the 50-day SMA. All right, same thing too as well. Let's take a look at the MACD. This really isn't telling us much at all. Let's go ahead and not worry about that for most part. It's pretty much drawing dead, but pretty much just telling us that there's no real momentum in bullish or bearish, and again, here's something you got to understand too, because I've had somebody comment below before regarding the MACD and how kind of primitive it is. It for sure is. Yeah, it's not like an indicator you're going to use all the time. You're going to use it seldom, and you're going to use it in regard to understanding the momentum in one direction or the other. That's really all it is. It's not going to be an indicator that's going to be the full-on testament of what's going to happen next. So just keep that in mind when we look at the MACD. It's just kind of helping us know, hey, bulls in control, bears in control, are we losing that momentum? That's kind of where we're at. There's no momentum on either side here. Pretty much just drawing dead, staying flat. That tells us that there's a state of indecision right now, which is why we're getting a doji candle. So that being said, it's not a bad thing. It's good that we're consolidating right at the support level, and I think that's a good thing. Okay. So all good stuff there in that sense as well. Take a look at TD Sequential really quick. We came up to a 7, got a reset. So hypothetically, we're just going to go sideways for some time until we see a definitive direction. There's not much to really go on here. This isn't telling us that there's going to be a major transition. I mean, the 4-hour time frame is basically telling us that we are going sideways. We're channeling between 46,000 and 47,000 as a close approximate, and we might continue to do that for the rest of the weekend. That's a very strong likelihood, and it would be great if we could do that, because then we could just build a foundation of volume at 46,000, build on that volume, and then have more increase over the week as soon as the work week starts, right? So again, we could see that happen. I think that's a very strong likelihood, but generally speaking, you can see the price come down here to try to test that level and continues to hold. So you can just see how many times that continues to maintain itself, which is very reassuring, letting us know that 46,000 should be a point of support, a very strong support level. Okay, so really good stuff there in that sense. Looking at TD Sequential, we have really just a couple of resets. There's nothing much to note here. We can see that we hit a 9 earlier and it went sideways. Kind of just reiterates how the TD Sequential works too, because if you look at this as well, you can see there is a 9 here too when it came to its lowest point. So that's why TD Sequential is so powerful to be able to use, because it really helps us understand exhaustion, and oftentimes you'll see a 9 and then there's usually a turnaround. It either resets and goes sideways, or will reset and come back the other direction. In this case, came all the way down to a 9, came up to a 9, and then it goes sideways. And we've just basically been in this consolidation state ever since. So that's the really cool thing about TD Sequential. I recommend you try to, you learn how to use it. It's really an easy indicator, kind of just telling you, hey, you're at a 9, you might expect the price to turn around soon. And once again, it gives you just a little bit more certainty in knowing that you're picking the right side. Yeah. So that's just why I like to use it. It really helps a lot. Ichimoku Cloud is a great indicator too. And in this regard, we can see we're still trending above the cloud, which is fantastic. And the cloud is trending really close to about 46,000 presently. The conversion line and baseline are intersecting, so really it doesn't tell us we have a definitive buy signal right now, as well as the fact that the lagging span is intersecting with the price action. So we truly won't get like a definitive buy signal probably for another 24 to 48 hours, and that'd be perfect if it just waited until it came over here, right? For example, and then it just took off. That would be ideal, because that'd put us right at market open tomorrow, roughly about 24 hours from now. So that's a good situation, and actually no, it'd be more like 36 hours from now, because the Eastern market opens usually around like 6 or 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday evening. So at that point, that's when we could see the shift where the price will likely continue higher, because we'll have more volume at that time frame too. Again, a lot of speculative stuff there in that regard, but generally speaking, the cloud is telling us that we are above the cloud. We're above a key level support of 46,000. We're trending closer. We keep testing that level and holding above. We've previously hit a state of exhaustion twice, and now that we're going sideways here at this level, over a weekend is perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. So what we'll probably see happen this weekend too is a small handful of altcoins taken off. Like what we got, Vulcan Forge took off as well. We caught a nice 32% on that swing trade. That was a trade we took 2 days ago too. So I mean, there's a lot of cool coins taken off right now. I'm going to try to cover those next. But generally speaking, Bitcoin going sideways at 46 right now is perfect. We really want to see that. Just again, get more volume at that price point, so the price can inevitably increase from here. I think the likelihood of the price coming up from here, of course, is much higher than it going down, just based on its current trajectory, how well it held in the support zone, 44.5 to 46,000, and of course how hard it ramped back up after it filled that gap. So really good stuff here from Bitcoin. I don't think we should expect the price to come down much lower. If it were to, we might see a candlestick into this zone, but the likelihood of it continuing up here is pretty high. We're still maintaining this trend line as well, which is fantastic. So all good stuff. There's literally nothing adverse that I can see here from Bitcoin. So I would just say continue dollar cost average, and I think the likelihood of Bitcoin increasing is much higher at this point. I hope you found benefit and tolerated my voice here today. I appreciate your patience, and thanks again for joining me here. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Once again, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below if you want to become a better, just a better trader in general. Signals, Academy, and also an amazing community. Thanks again to my current community members again for all of your support in this process. I greatly appreciate you. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.